So welcome. This is our Let Go and Laugh workshop. And oh, Ladina is coming. So let's admit her in. We just started. Ladina, I'm so glad you're here. Hello and welcome. We just started, like I just said the name of the workshop. So you're right on time. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Also on camera, which is wonderful, so that I can see your faces until I share the screen, and then I don't see your faces anymore. But for now, I'm really glad that you're all here and that you're in this workshop with me and you took this time. And this is going to be something to do with letting go and then filling up with laughter, because there was, I don't remember the quote, but there was like a quote that I read a while ago where it's just, once you know how to let go of things, I mean, you're never going to be let go of everything that you need to let go, because there's new stuff coming every day. So, but if you are able to let go of most of the things and not think about the past, then you can fill that inside yourself with joy. And the more joy you have, the fun, the lighter everything is. So this is all about letting go and filling that with the joy that you have. So I'm just going to start sharing the screen with you, because I have a presentation ready for you. Share screen. And then we do this one. And then we go to the presentation. Present. There we go. Can you see this screen? Yes.
Yes.
Great. So this is the workshop, right? Let go and laugh. First of all, we're just going to start to get into this space for all of us. Is just to take one big breath. So just let your arms loose. So you're like as relaxed as possible wherever you are. Judith, maybe don't let your arms loose if you're driving the car, but take a deep breath in as much as possible and even more. Hold it and just let go. That's one way of really letting go. And just, every time, that's already one tip and one good practice. Every time you are like in a chaotic mode or there's too much going on and you're thinking about a lot of things, one breath alone is going to help you come back to this space that's today. So a breath is always very, very powerful. So the topics that we're going through today is introduction, a funny story. There are a lot of funny stories. And I'm going to share one really, at that time, very embarrassing, but very funny story. And then I'm going to let you think about a funny story or make a story funny. Either way, I'm going to explain that a little later. And then why letting go is so important. I mean, probably but I'm just going to go into that a little bit. And then we're going to go through a formula that I came up with, which goes for everything, not just letting go, for a lot of things. Then we do a visualization exercise that's going to take a few minutes. And then sharing, and then going forward. So that's pretty much our hour. And letting also space and time at the end for any questions that you might have. So who am I? I'm Paula. And yes, this is what I love to do, is share and just share everything with people that I find is really, really powerful and will bring you forward. So I work as a coach for individuals and coach also for like dance schools and dancers who are becoming dancers or are already professional dancers who have a mindset very much just focused on dancing and might need some extra support. We all need some extra support. So dancing is my background. So that's why dancing is very important and close to my heart. And I am at the moment also training to become a business coach and consultant. So this is like expanding my scope of everything that I do. And I really literally share everything that I learned that is powerful and meaningful and useful. Because I believe strongly that it is not to be held to me, that humanity in general would be a better place if we all were kind and shared and loving to each other, right? So that is like my philosophy. And if you have any questions at any point during this presentation or during this workshop or anytime, just let me know. So before we go to that quick write, which is at the top, I'm going to share with you a funny story. Now, this is usually, you know, a lot of times for us, when something later on funny happens, it's at the moment, maybe not so funny, you know. But then as you go on and you think about it, it's like, oh, that was really, just really, really a funny thing. This happened many years ago. And like I was all dressed up. I was going out of the gym. I had just been working out. And my best friend came to pick me up from there. We were going to go out and just, you know, have some fun and stuff. And we were all really dressed up. And I was wearing like a really short skirt. Like I was in my 20s, so it was okay. And then as I was leaving the gym, I'm usually, you know, as a dancer, you would think that I would be very graceful and I would not stumble over just anything. But no, I'm the opposite of that, really. And in this case, there was like just a tiny, I don't know, maybe a little stone or something, maybe not even anything, but I stumbled over a nothing, a piece of nothing. And I fell backwards with my legs up into the sky. And just at the same second, I got up with all red like a tomato, and everyone was laughing. And at that point, I just wanted to go away and not go back anymore. But pretty soon afterwards, I was like, well, man, that must have looked really funny. Like this, all walking out, all in big style and nicely dressed and all that. And all of a sudden, I just stumbled over nothing. There is nothing on the floor, really. Probably not even a stone. So yes, I was, that was very embarrassing at that moment. But I just keep, like that friend of mine, we keep coming back to that story every once in a while and just laughing our hearts out for how silly that must have been. So this is one, like, this is just a typical example of, I mean, we all have things like that. We all have things from our past that at that time, maybe weren't that, you know, funny. We couldn't find that laughter, but then soon after we're like, wow. And you keep coming back to these. You can create funny stories too. Like if you're in a moment and you're just writing, one way to make anything look really funny is just adding silly words. Like if you're writing in a journal and you feel it's kind of boring, I would encourage you to add some words that really don't fit in. Oh, Carmelita's coming in. I'm going to admit. So my task for you for right now, and Ladina, I know you're walking. You don't have to write anything down if you're walking, but you can think about it. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. If you can write, you write down a funny story. Now, silly moment, funny story, or I have a list of words that I just came up with. So if you have a hard time thinking of a story, I'm going to give you, and write these down as 6 words that you can just add, you know, you just write a story with these 6 words, pretty much, adding something in between. One is silly. One is odd. Then is funny. Tell me if I have to be slower. Then I put cat, dance, and bag. So you have silly, odd, funny, cat, dance, bag. And I will give you 3 minutes to either come up with your own story of your own past, and 3 minutes, you just keep writing. Don't stop until I tell you so. Or you use those 6 words and create a story, if that's easier for you. So I'm going to start the time for you to write now. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. That was the alarm. Now you're done with your silly story. Now I'm not going to ask you to share the silly story until maybe later. Like, it's up to you. When we come to the section where we're sharing, you may share or not, whether it's really dependent on how you want. Keep it to you. And you know what? Anytime you feel like, I want to do something really, like, this feels sometimes a little bit like odd and crazy and silly, right? Writing things that with odd words. Well, why not? That makes your life at that moment a little bit lighter. Well, do it. That's what it's all about. So let's go back to our shared screen. There we go. So we got that. And yeah, this was a quote from Charlie Chaplin. A day without laughter is a day wasted. I really, 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 truly believe this. It's a really good quote, and hold on to that. And anything that will make you laugh is okay, as long as it's not hurting others, right? So, and letting go. Now, this is another quote, because letting go, I was searching for a lot of information, because letting go is such a big concept. Like, what do you let go of? You can let go of the last minute you had, or the, you know, the opinion someone gave you 10 years ago, a feeling, anything. So letting go is the process of freeing yourself from obsessing thoughts and unhappy feelings. Obsessing thoughts could be just something that happened 30 seconds ago and you obsess about, even though there's nothing you can do about it. Or it can be anything to do with whatever time in your past. And unhappy feelings, that's usually related to how you criticize yourself, or how others, you think you heard their words criticizing you. So letting go is a huge, big process, and it is like a lifelong thing. We get things every day. Time goes on and we keep walking on our path, and every moment we walk, the other moment was past, right? So it's an ongoing process. And the easier we let go of, or the less we get attached to something, let's say it that way, the easier it is for us to live in the present moment and look out into the future to whatever we want to do. And I have come up with this rest steps or formula, whatever you want to call it. For me, it's just, I wanted to make it simple, like a step-by-step, but still like an overall concept. To first, an R is recognize. To recognize, even in letting go, you recognize, what do I need to let go of? Like, what is it that's really weighing me down, and then stopping me from moving forward with everything that I have? So you recognize where you are. You envision where you want to go, because without dreams and goals and visions, you don't know really where you want to go. And then you start shifting towards that vision. And as you shift in different ways, you change perspective with different techniques and ideas and everything, the transformation happens along the way, which you usually don't recognize, because you're living your transformation. You're living it every second. But usually if you take a before and after, or you take like you talk, and then a few weeks later you talk again with someone, then you recognize there's a transformation. If someone or something is telling you, oh, look, this is where you were and this is where you're now. And same with letting go, and with everything else really that has to do with life. So what are the things, like, there are sometimes it's like, if I ask you now to, what do you want to let go of? It might be difficult to answer right away. It's like, well, a lot of things, right? So these are some examples of big things that pretty much each of us has. Some of us hold on to more and some of us less. So like other people's expectations. We should be really truly living what our heart tells us to do, what your heart tells you to do is what you should be doing. But we're conditioned to, of course, listen to other people, our parents, our teachers, everybody and anybody who is around us. Everyone has an opinion. We have opinions on others too. So it's it goes around. But other people's expectations, like truly trust your own path. Thinking of past mistakes, that's a big one. Like we think, oh, if I hadn't done this, or if I had done that in that time, things would be different. Yeah, it could be, but you wouldn't be who you are if that whatever didn't happen, right? Negative thoughts about yourself, that's to keep coming, better let go. The need to control your how, like the need to control how things happen. You are in charge of what happens, but there are things outside of your control, and the things might be presented to you in a way that you really don't know, or you couldn't imagine. You have a goal you want to go to, but the path to that goal, you can't control 100%. And you have to trust that it works. And people who are not serving you, now this is a hard one, because it might be people that are close to you, but maybe the way they make you feel, or the way they talk to you or act around you is making you feel bad, or bad about yourself, or it's just somehow negative. And it could be even relatives or good friends right now that you consider your close friends. It is a hard process, but it's sometimes necessary to say, look, I need some distance, or I need to spend less time with someone. Only because they're family doesn't mean that they're always good for us, for our growth. And that is, that's one thing. And being angry at circumstances or other people, that usually comes from a lot of these other things that were mentioned that make you feel like, oh, and anger is usually a sign that something's not going like you want, like your heart is telling you. It is going against your will, it's going against your intuition, and then you get angry. So these are some examples of things. Usually, and with anything, and especially for me, anything that I do, I want to keep it simple. So keeping things simple, if you write things down, keep things simple. Writing down is also getting things out of your head. So if you're unsure of what is it that I'm actually really want to let go, write it down, write everything down that's in your head. And then you will probably see like a line going through, like a thread that helps you discover the essence. By writing it down, you see it, like it's physically, it's away from your head, it's on a paper, and it helps you to see it from another point of view. It's not within your head, it's outside. And then let it go. So this, I'm not, if you want to, you can write stuff down while this is going, but I will just, we're going to go into a visualization. That is, I'm going to let you some time within that visualization to also go through this in your mind. So to think of things that need to let go, because usually the first things that come to mind are the most powerful ones. So the visualization exercise is just there. Like if you can, I know Ladina, you're like on the go, so you can't really close your eyes, but don't worry about it. You do as you can. If you can, close your eyes and make sure there's nobody or nothing distracting you from anything. And then just follow my voice and the instructions, and then enjoy. That's all you need to do. And Ladina, you can also come back to this later because I am recording it. So you can always come back to the same section of this workshop. So don't worry about that now. So I'm going to ask you to just let your arms hang loose. Adjust your position to a place where you can really feel as relaxed as possible for the next few minutes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Close your eyes as you let that breath come out. And with the next breath in, you imagine yourself standing on a pathway, like a little path in nature. This path can be made out of any material, stone, earth, wood, sand, whatever it is. Perhaps you're in a jungle or near a beach, a dense evergreen forest, or maybe a meadow, or any other place for peace and comfort. So wherever you imagine yourself, it is peaceful and it is very comfortable. Take a moment to ground yourself and just simply take in the surroundings of where you are standing. The colors, the animal life, sounds. Maybe you can feel a breeze on your skin. What can you smell? Feel your feet on the ground and that material, what the ground is made of. So you really have a connection there. And let yourself merge with this environment. I'm going to let you a few moments of just silence to look around in this imagination, this place, and just take in everything that you see, smell, taste, hear, touch. Colors. As if you were really, really there. You're by yourself, but you are carrying a backpack, which is tightly on your shoulders. And that's all you have with you on this journey. With your next breath, you start walking down the path. As you walk, the scenery is changing just slightly, and you take in everything that's changing and everything that's happening around you. The bees that are flying, or other animals or insects. And the nature is providing you a feeling of safety and comfort. As you walk, you are leaving behind the hours and the minutes and even the years that you just came before you, up until this very moment. All you have is the present moment and the path that unfolds. Taking these steps along this path, it feels really good. And yet you feel like there's something that is weighing you down. That even though you know that the past is the past, it can be difficult to just release it and be free. You keep walking and you experience this environment with all your senses. And this helps you return to the present moment. What is happening around you right now? So you keep walking one step after the other until you reach a body of water in front of you. It can be a stream, the ocean, a lake, a pond, any body of water that you want to experience at this very moment in this environment that you created. You stop at the water's edge. You take off the backpack and sit down to rest. And now you notice how heavy that backpack was. How it was weighing down your shoulders, and now your shoulders can really relax. Now, having noticed the weight, you are now curious to know what is it that's in that backpack? What have you been carrying down that path? So you slowly open up the backpack and you look inside. you realize that you've been carrying heavy stones with you. And each of these stones represents something that happened in the days or weeks or even years that came before this very moment. Take a moment to consider what you've been carrying. Any stories, energies, encounters, emotions. Witness what you have been carrying from a place of observation and compassion, and softening any attachment that you might feel. So I'm going to leave you for a few moments of silence to consider what each of these stones is representing. And then, one by one, you pull each stone out of that bag, feeling its weight on your hand, and then carefully placing it in the water before you. Now take your time with each of these stones. At the same time, softening and easing your attachment with them and letting it go in the water. And still remaining compassionate and kind with yourself if some stones feel harder to let go of than others. Soon, the last of the stones has been returned in the water, leaving the backpack empty beside you. You sit calmly and lightly, letting your forehead relax, your jaw to soften, your shoulders to melt, and any other physical tension to be released. And taking an extra deep breath into a place in your body that feels especially tense. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, in your imagination, you're getting up, feeling light and free. You feel at peace and at ease. You pick up the now empty backpack and put it across one shoulder. Taking one last look at the body of water in front of you, you turn around and you continue your journey on that nature's path. With one more breath in, and then as you breathe out, you can blink your eyes open and come back to this present moment. Move your fingers, your toes, your shoulders. If you need to, release your neck. Just get comfortable again. And thank you so much for the new person who came during this exercise. I'm so glad you're here. And this was a powerful exercise. So if you found you would like to listen to it again at some point, this is being recorded and you can always go back to it. And now let's come into sharing. I'm going to divide you into like two groups. And what I ask you to do is to just share. First of all, maybe introduce yourself. That might be nice to start with. And then share your experience of letting go in that last exercise. And now that you've been able to release something, let go of something, how could you use, that silly story or the funny story that you wrote before? Could you use that to fill up some space and just, I would encourage you to, in the groups, just have fun. If you feel like sharing a part or the whole story that you wrote down that was so silly, do that. See what the reactions are. So share your experience and share your silly story or whatever story you want to share. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. And before that is over, there will be a little sign saying it give you like a note that there's 1 more minute to go. So you will kind of know, so when that everybody gets a chance to share. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen at this point. And if that would be really nice if you could be on camera while you're talking with others, because that is very beneficial. So if at all possible, or if you can't be on camera, at least unmute yourself. Don't worry, Ladina, if you missed it, let others share first, and then maybe you find something that you can share about any. Araya, hi, it's you. So yeah, please, if you can be on camera, I'm going to put you into breakout rooms, and when it's 1 minute left, I'm going to give you, there's going to be a little sign popping up in your screen. So let's see here, 2. So just join the room. So welcome back. I hope it didn't stop right in the middle of someone saying
No.
really important. So I hope you had a good time sharing.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah, show your thumbs up if it was a nice sharing. I assume Tatiana and Carmelita and Araya also have. Oh yeah, our Carmelita, you did it. It's a thumbs up. So sharing is also very important. Like when you're doing this kind of work of shifting your mind, and whether it's to do with letting go or anything else, to keep it's good that you do the work, but when you get to share it with someone, it's even more powerful, and it gives you clarity. It gives you clarity. Like if you ever were in school and someone asked you to explain something to you that they didn't understand, and when you explain that to someone, you understand it even better, right? So the process is the same here. So you understand everything even clearer, because to be clear about, first of all, what you want to let go or where you want to go, your vision, to be clear is the first step to be able to take steps towards that goal. So it's a very powerful to share with other people. And that I'm going to just share my screen with you. Still sharing. So here we go. And now going forward, there was supposed to be a picture here, but for some reason it doesn't show up. So all this ties into a big over kind of an umbrella called confidence. If you feel confident, it is easier for you to let go. Because then all those things that were in the past, however much, time there was in between, don't really seem like they're so big of a deal. If you're down in your confidence, and that means you're doubting a lot, or you're taking other people's opinion over your own because you're doubting and because you don't feel confident, that's when letting go is really hard. Because that gives you, letting go is like, is you're giving up something that you were holding on to that gave you security for a while, maybe. But at some point, it's not going to serve you anymore and you need to let go. And so it means a change. And anything that's a change for us as humans is usually a little bit difficult. Yeah. Even though it means something new and good and everything, but your body is telling you, no, no, no. So confidence is the very first step in this. I do offer a lot of things that to do with confidence, and I want to actually here let you know that whenever you need, I am here for you. I have programs that are running that I'm passionate about. One of them is the 6-week confidence program. It's on an app, and it's like a mini version of a coaching. And you can, hop on that app, and then you can have me be with you as a guide before and after. Or there's also like options that you can just, be a coaching client for me. Be someone that I can help you. Sometimes it's a little hard to even define what is it really that I want. Like you feel like you're in a place where there has like a little fire inside of you. I'm going to stop sharing so I can see myself. It's like there's a fire that's inside of you. Like I'm a visual person. So that you feel like it's not burning as full as it could be. And you need to, it's like a need, you need to go further. You need to move forward. You need to find what is it that makes that fire really burst out and to make you really like bloom. And this is one step in any of the coaching, or even if you do a mini version of it or just a few sessions, but it is very powerful. And the next step then, if you defined where you want to go, is, well, what is it in your current life that you can change that helps you go towards what you want? So that's also something that maybe someone from the outside it is easier for someone from the outside to tell what they're seeing. And it's helpful, even if it wasn't me guiding you, but if you ask someone else of their, observations of your life. Now it has to be someone you trust, but you can still ask, well, what is it that you're observing? That would be one powerful way. Now I didn't plan on saying all this, so I don't have slides to share with you, but I'm sharing from my heart because I think this could be helpful. Like now that you've have these steps to start letting go of things. I mean, you can apply to different things in your life. Maybe you have that fire that needs to burn bigger, but you don't really know what it is. You'd like to know, and you'd like to make a bigger impact in this world. That's what we mostly want to do, have an impact, and that's something from our heart. First, you can go to anyone you trust and ask their honest, objective opinion. How do you see me? Like, what are my strengths? Where do you see my strengths? Because they usually see something else than you think of yourself. They usually see something you didn't think of, and it's very helpful. And if that might give you some direction. Now, if you really, like, I'm a powerful coach and I'm here to serve you. So if you ever want or to discuss this idea, and I would invite you to just anytime contact me, call me, email me, or on the website, you can book like a Zoom call for free. I'm here for you. And please share this with everyone and anyone around you. Like, sharing is powerful, and you can impact other people's lives in a very, very positive way. And that's what it's all about. So don't keep information to yourself when it's helpful. because if you find it helpful, others find it helpful, and that's how it goes around the world. So I thank you very much for all of you for being here. It is really my pleasure to serve you and to be here. And I am applauding to each of you. I will be sending out the recording once it's done and ready to go. There's a link to the recording then. And I encourage you to go back and maybe especially the visualization and all these exercises. The visualization is powerful and it will ground you a little bit and it will give you peace and it will also get you back to the present moment. And so, and also share that link with everyone and anyone. And let me know if you have any questions. Let me see. Thank you, Julie, for saying that you recommend coaching with me. I really, really appreciate that. And it's very, very, I'm just humbled by anyone who works with me. So thank you so much. I'm gonna stop the recording now. Oh, no, probably not yet, actually, because if you have any questions, that might be helpful for anyone who's listening to the recording. Do you have any questions? If you do, just unmute yourself and just go ahead and ask. Anyone? No one. Well, that's also good, right? The message got across, I guess. Huh? So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, evening. And yeah, actually, I'm going to stop the recording right now. Stop recording.